What's up, guys? Wanted to go over this Garmin A1 Pro. You know, we never do like the hard sell. That's not why I'm making this video to sell the site. I'm actually making this video because we've had so many questions over it over the last few years, and I just wanted to hopefully answer some of those quickly for you. So first off, I wanted to power on the site, which takes about 2 seconds to power on. So if you were in a situation where you didn't have the sight on and you wanted to draw your bow and shoot an animal, you can literally flip it on, and by the time you've drawn your bow, it will already be on and ready to go. But for most instances, we just turn it on when we're in the field. Essentially, when we get set up in the stand, that's one of the first things we do is turn on the sight, or if we're in the turkey blind, turn on the sight and then leave it on throughout the hunt. Battery life is phenomenal. This thing is rated to last 1 year. And that's typically when I swap out the batteries, is after 1 year. But for instance, Chandler, who's filming this video, has had his batteries in his sight for 2 years now and hasn't swapped them out, and the battery life still reads full. This uses AAA lithium batteries. So with lithium batteries, as most of you know, on a battery gauge, it'll read full for a very long time, and then when the battery begins to diminish, it actually diminishes very quickly. So that's just something to keep in mind. But battery life is phenomenal. Never ran into that issue. Like I said, it's rated for 1 year, and none of us have had any issues with battery life on that realm. All right, so really how this thing works is very, very simple. You've got your sight housing here with a little display on the top, and then you've got your trigger with a cord that leads to the trigger. And that trigger is what you're going to be ranging your animal with when you're at full draw. So there's a little sight reticle that pops up on the glass display on this sight, and you line up your pin inside that reticle. If your pin is not lined up within that reticle, then you're canting your bow, or you have an off grip, which is a very awesome feature that I like about this, because it actually shows you that if you're canting your bow, like I said, or if your grip is off, so you're true to your shooting capabilities and your form is good. So that gives me even more confidence when shooting this sight. And then from there, you've got your if you're going to shoot your one pin, you can have that to where it'll show your exact yardage, or you have the option to click the button and your fixed pins will pop up. So some people will ask, well, what if it fails, or you're not confident with the yardage, which I've once again never ran into that. But if you were to run into that situation, which I don't think you ever will, you also have the backup option of a fixed pin. And you can set up your fixed pins, to 20, 30, 40, 50 and on, or whatever you do with your bow setup. You have the option to change those colors as well. You could do red or green for each one intermittently. So that's a great feature as well. So as far as setup goes with this sight, it's extremely simple. With the A1 Pro, which is this sight here, you've got the micro adjustability, which is a great feature that I like a lot. Another feature that I probably like the most is the setup when you turn it on and load your arrow profile. So once you load in a new arrow profile, it'll ask you to shoot 20 yards. You can say whatever range. I'm just picking 20. Say you pick 20 yards. You shoot 20 yards until you hit the bullseye. You can adjust with your micro adjustability on here, where you just loosen your Allen bolt and turn the knob and then tighten it back down. And then from there, you just calibrate in you type in your arrow diameter, your arrow speed, and your draw length, and then the bow actually calibrates your pin stack for you all the way out to your maximum length that will fit in the housing for this sight. So that's probably one of my favorite features of this A1 Pro, is basically that it calibrates your entire pin stack for you. You don't have to go that route, but that's a feature in this sight that I like quite a bit. Another great feature about this sight is the arrow profile capabilities. Right now I have this set up as the SR350 because that's the bow that I'm shooting, and so I have this arrow profile set up for that. But if I were to switch the sight over to this other bow behind me, which is my Solution, I could have my other profile set up on there for my Solution. Or maybe you only have one bow, but you have two different types of arrows. So you've got a heavy arrow set up for your whitetails or big game, and then you want a lighter arrow set up for your turkeys. You can change profiles and load those in here, and it stores that information inside this sight housing. So you literally just switch over to the other arrow profile and you're ready to go. So also with this glass display inside the housing, a lot of people ask, like, does it fog up? I've never had any fogging issues. It, in the rain, the water sheds right off. It's basically water resistant, I guess you could call it, to where the water sheds right off and it's not sitting on the screen. The screen also is at an angle, so I've never had light interference from the sun and whatnot. That may be of concern as well. This sight is waterproof. I think submergible up to like a foot or two for like 30 minutes. So it is waterproof. It's obviously water resistant then in that case. So in the rain, you never have any issues with the sight going down or anything like that. But if you were to ask me on this sight, as far as not even just the Pro Series, just the A1 itself, we've been shooting multiple different ones over the years since they released the sight. My favorite feature, what would be my favorite feature? My favorite feature about this is the fact that it really takes away the whole ranging motion. There's been multiple times prior to this sight coming out onto the market where, you know, I draw my bow, the deer's walking away, and I have to let down, re-range or whatever. You don't have to do that with this sight. You can be at full draw and you just continually hitting that button, ranging the animal, whether it's walking away or going away. You get the exact yardage, and that also takes out the guessing game of your pin gaps. I remember shooting fixed pins, and in certain instances it'd almost be a mental battle where I have a deer at, you know, I'd ranged him and he's at like 24, 26 or 36 right in there, and I have to guess in between my pins to, you know, get the yardage. Well, with this, you've got exact yardage. You know, if he's at 26, your pin is calibrated right at 26 on this sight, and that's exactly where you're going to shoot the animal. So it really takes away a lot of guessing game. It really just makes you a lot more accurate archer and a lot more confidence. Doesn't shoot the animal for you. Some people seem to think that, you know, it's cheating, and it's not cheating at all. It's just making you a better archer at the end of the day. So if any of you guys have any questions about this, feel free to comment in the comment section below, and don't forget to like and share our page, and or like and subscribe. And thank you guys for watching. Hopefully it answers you guys' questions about the Garmin Xero sight.